I know we've all seen a silk press that looks absolutely banging, and in the back of our minds we're thinking that looks good right now, but as soon as I take a shower or as soon as I go to the gym, that hair's not going to be looking so cute anymore and my hair is going to be reverting back. I saw somebody say silk presses are cute but only for like 10 minutes. Now that I've gotten into the swing of my straight hair routine, I absolutely know of so surefire ways to make sure that my hair stay straight. Guys, I know you have heard about this silicone mix. I know somebody here knows about that silicone mix, okay? And one thing about me, guys, I do not reapply heat, okay? One and done. Once I've straightened my hair once, that's it for the next 3 weeks. So if you guys want to know how to maintain your straight hair and some tips to stop your hair from reverting back, you've come to the right place. Hey guys, it's Natural Nadine here. We are navigating our straight natural hair journey with science. I was a curly haired natural, I'm now a straight haired natural, but obviously my tips can be relevant for both, so feel free to join the fam and hit that subscribe button. Today we're going to be talking about ways to stop your hair from reverting back. Without me rambling on, guys, let's get into the video. Rule number 1 of maintaining your silk press is pretty self-explanatory, but make sure you have a good base, a good silk press to even start with. But you want to make sure you have a really good base. Now I think I need to do a completely separate video on how to have a successful silk press, because I really think that I've been seeing a lot of failed silk presses recently and I feel like just a few little tweaks in a hair routine could get that silk press going. I've never been to a salon to get my silk press because where I live there is none, but honestly I just prefer to do my own hair, so I've been doing an at-home silk press. But whether or not you get it done at the salon or whether or not you do it at home, make sure you start off with a good base. Now the first way to make sure you're starting off with a good base is your blowout, okay? Your blowout actually sets the tone for your entire silk press. It's kind of like an underrated step in the straightening hair process. The main reason why I say that is because when your hair starts to revert back, typically the curls don't just start, you know, reappearing. What happens is your hair starts to expand, it starts to go back into like its blown out stage, if that makes sense. Hence why if you have a failed silk press or if you have a silk press that's reverting, it looks like a blowout. If your blowout is silky smooth, straight as it can possibly be, it caps how much your hair will actually revert back. So that's tip number 1. I put up a short of how I blow dry my hair and my updated kind of blowout routine, and guys, I cannot tell you how much of a game changer it has been to be using a round bore bristle brush for my blowouts. Like, so if you haven't got one of those, guys, I'll have the one that I have linked down below, but honestly any round bore bristle brush that has really good tension and that helps to smooth the hair is gonna get your blowout right, okay? Tip number 2 is use a clarifying shampoo, okay? There's nothing worse than a stiff silk press. It's a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for it just reverting back to its old self. And the reason being is because all that product buildup is just weighing your hair down. Your hair's not going to do what you tell it to do. Your hair needs to be extremely clean, and that cleanliness is going to give you that flowy silk press. It's going to give your hair that movement. It's going to give your hair that flexibility. Because you have to think, as you go on, your silk press is only gonna get more stiff, if that makes sense, unless you're using a dry shampoo, because your hair gets greasy over time. You know, it's not gonna have as much movement as it did on day 1. So if it's stiff on day 1, just give up. Like, just give up, just go home. I feel like when you wear your hair curly, you can get away with obviously cleaning your hair, but not like squeaky clean. When you're having your hair straightened or when you have a silk press, you can't get away with this. There are quite a few shampoos that I've absolutely been loving that really clean my hair but don't strip my hair. So the Shea Moisture Strengthening Black Castor Oil is one. The one that I'm currently reaching for right now is the Care Hydrating Detangling Shampoo. And then I've also heard, not tried personally since it's not available in the UK, but the Ardua Beauty shampoo. Another one that I like is the Cream of Nature Curl and Shine shampoo. Personally, what I've recently started doing to make sure that I clarify my hair effectively is I don't reach for a clarifying shampoo. I reach for like a regular hydrating shampoo, but then I lather my hair maybe 2 or 3 times. That way I feel like I'm cleaning my hair without absolutely stripping it. Like, yes, if you use a clarifying shampoo, you might only have to lather once, but I always get that dry straw feeling from my hair, which I just absolutely hate. And if your hair is too dry, this is where you have to strike the balance, then your hair will revert back, because when your hair is dry, it wants to automatically draw moisture from the atmosphere. It wants to draw moisture from the humidity in the air, and now your hair is reverting back, okay? So you need to strike that balance between making sure you have a clean and nice, good base and not stripping your hair to the point where it's so dry that it's just taking moisture from anything that it can possibly do. That too will cause your hair to revert. I feel like I'm talking really fast. Am I talking really fast? My next tip, which is probably going to be like my most important tip, actually they're all important, forget that, scratch that. My next tip, guys, is like has been an absolute game changer for my natural hair, and that is don't neglect silicones. Okay, how silicones work is they form a coating and a barrier on top of your hair. So let's say, for example, if you are using a heat protectant, 9 times out of 10 it'll be a silicone based heat protectant, and that silicone is kind of like a plastic, let's call it, for lack of a better word, that is heat resistant, and that's going to protect, form a barrier between the straighteners and your hair so that your hair can withstand the heat a little bit better. As well as, let's say, serums, they're going to leave that coating so that your hair is shiny, it's silky, it's smooth. So silicones are an absolutely important key to your hair routine as a straight hair natural. Now guys, I'm about to put you onto something that has really changed the game for me. Okay, now this is something that's new to me, but I don't feel like it will be that new to some of you. I'm pretty sure some of you would have heard of this baby. Guys, I know you have heard about this silicone mix. I know somebody here knows about that silicone mix. Okay, if there's anything that has gotten my hair to be resilient to reverting back, it's this silicone mix. And let me explain to you guys how I use it, because I know we have this whole like thing about how silicones are bad and they're not natural and blah blah, and yeah, all of that stuff. If you guys, I have a whole separate video that talks about silicones, and my hair loves silicones, and how I think silicones aren't bad, and if you use them in the correct way, they can actually be really beneficial to your hair and your hair routine. Back to the silicone mix, how I have personally been using it. I feel like one of the biggest mistakes we made is using like this as like a deep conditioner. Okay, this is not a deep conditioner. For me, this is like a sealing treatment almost, if that makes sense. So the way I use it is I will use my regular deep conditioner that I use, which is the Joico K-Pack hydrating treatment, and then I will also tend to mix that nowadays with either Olaplex No. 0, the Red Kent acidic bonding, or the Curlsmith Bond Curl. I like to use like a hydrating deep conditioner that also has keratin, but I also like to incorporate a bit of bond building in there as well, so I get both. So that's why I tend to mix those two deep conditioners. So I'll let that deep conditioner sit on my hair for however long I'm keeping it in there, 20-30 minutes, an hour if I feel like it, and then just before I'm about to go and rinse out my deep conditioner, I put this bad boy on. This only needs to be left on for about 3 minutes, so literally about 5 minutes before you're about to rinse off your deep conditioner, I layer this on top of my deep conditioner. And what this does is it seals in that nourishment. That silicone mix is now on top of my head, but because I've already allowed my deep conditioner to penetrate, I'm not blocking, I'm not sealing in dryness, I'm sealing in hair that has been hydrated and treated by my deep conditioner, and now just allowing the silicones to form that coating and that barrier before I rinse out, if that makes sense. Is what I'm saying making sense? I hope it's making sense. Guys, just trust me on this one. This is a game changer, and the reason why this really helps with stopping my hair from reverting back is because that barrier that's formed over your hair with silicone, they reduce the amount of moisture that can get into your hair, so they kind of form that barrier and your hair kind of almost gets that like waterproof effect, and it also limits the amount of moisture that can leave your hair. So it's an amazing sealant. I mean, you have to think of like, let's say when you're using oils in your hair routine, it's the same principle. You're using an oil to seal in moisture, you're using an oil on top of your hydrating treatment, you're mixing an oil into your deep conditioner to seal it in properly, but instead of using an oil, you're using a silicone. And the reason why I prefer silicones now is because I've realized they last a lot longer on my hair. I feel like when I put an oil, yes, my hair's nourished, I love oils, I'll never stop using oils, but I find the next day, like, you know, I need to put an oil on again. The silicones do linger on my hair for a lot longer, which is what I want. I want that protective barrier to last for a lot longer so that my hair can last a lot longer. Now, obviously there is dangers of product buildup. Don't abuse this product, okay, and make sure you're clarifying it properly. Should I do a part 2 of this? I have like 5 more things to say, and it's already been like 20 minutes. Okay guys, I think it's giving I'm gonna do a part 2. Not gonna lie guys, I feel like I'm gonna have to do a part 2 of this video, otherwise it's just gonna be super long, and I don't know if it's like me or if you guys feel this way as well, but my attention span for long videos has really, I blame TikTok. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this here guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.